I'm not a native resident of this bubble universe indeed. I just happened to be live in the holy city when the envoy was handing out identification code. You've already heard of my previous hometown. The ruined bubble universe that Kira was talking about just now. Fallen Star. What? Don't spell nonsense. That universe has been destroyed for more than 100 years. Look, I knew that all of you wouldn't believe me if I talk about this now. But I'm really not lying. That Professor Charter you all have met, he's my friend too. You're not making this up with my story, are you? I know these are empty words. Alright, you said Professor Charter had an unfinished note that had a morphism written on it. You're right, but... Was that aphorism, always hold hope for tomorrow, always live as yourself every day? I thought that always be optimistic after always hold hope for tomorrow. Wait, I've never told anyone about what he wrote. And the V on that pen. So, Vita, you... I'm really sorry. I can only try to regain everyone's trust this way. On the last evening of year 199, starlit calendar, an hour before the Great Explosion, it was the first time New Planet Recon Team set off. New Planet Recon Team. Yes, Professor Charter never gave up on looking for hope for the future. That's just how he was. He and other researchers in Atlas secretly created a transportation that could leave Fallen Star, and I, for some special reason, happened to be one of the first members selected. I can never forget what I saw that day. The Fallen Star, the home we relied on, was instantly swallowed by a flare of the Great Eruption. The light that once brought us warmth and hope, the light of starlight, becomes such an ominous and frightening wisp. That happened so abruptly. Besides me, who was performing maintenance on the aircraft, nobody was able to board. I knew then I had lost my hometown again. I've become a lonely drifter again. After drifting for an arduous time, I fortunately come to this universe. My aircraft crashed into the wilderness outside South Holy City. The residents here accepted me, an outsider of unknown origin. They treated me as their friend and family. I'm really grateful for that. From then on, I decided to live here peacefully until I met all of you. As for why the oracles attacked me, I'm afraid it's because they can tell that I don't belong to this universe, so they're instinctively more conscious of me for the safety of the holy city. It may be rude for me to continue asking, but you said you lost your hometown again. That means you're not a native resident of Fallen Star either, right? Yes, but I really have no evidence for anything that happened before that. For example, the world I was first raised in was not Earth. Be it South Snow Holy City or Fallen Star, they aren't part of Earth either. That's not what I meant. To all of you, Professor Charter, Grandpa K, Grandma Easy are all residents of this bubble universe, not the real world, right? Why? Do you mean that you're not like them? I'm truly different from them. In your words, I think the world I was raised in was Venus. Venus? Like the Venus in the 8 planets of the solar system. Our civilization had been destroyed by Honkai long ago. Back then, we didn't have the ability to travel across planets. As for survival, I spent an endless amount of time in the abyss of the Sea of Ponta. No, now that I think about it, there's no concept of time in that sort of space. Anyway, after much time had passed in the outside world, I was able to travel from a space in Venus to a space on Earth, thanks to an extremely rare coincidence. Unlike us, your civilization flourished more. Over the long period of time, you guys were able to create countless holo projections. During my travels, I once witnessed the samsara in a certain kingdom, and visited a cute puppet that led a miniature world. Of course, there were tragedies like the fallen star too. I remember that you were all surprised that I found the people in South Snow Holy City very interesting. The reason why I like everyone here is perhaps those who have lost their hometown forever cherish their new neighbors more. Nobody spoke. Venus was very distant from Earth, but everyone here recounts some of their own experiences. A drifter in a sea of quanta, a survivor of the Great Eruption, an orphan who had lost her home. We cannot change the past, but we can change the future. After the short collective silence, Vita, we managed to find a basic plan to save South Snow Holy City and country of Iron Sand with Dr. Schrodinger's discovery just now. Then, as someone who's also a drifter in the Sea of Quanta, can you provide everyone with additional help? That's tough. Although Professor Charter's aircraft is still in the wilderness outside the city, we can rely on it to reactivate and help everyone in the Sea of Quanta. Ah, right. Interferometer. Interferometer? What's that? So you don't know about it either. It's a type of nanochip that can be implemented in the human body to perform exhaustive algorithm on the near future. Theoretically speaking, it can sum up all the possible choices in a specific space. Yes, I think that's what it does. Professor, do you know a lot about interferometer too? More accurately, decades ago, Miss Edison once used this sort of device in front of me. But Prometheus, as the strongest AI of the previous era, do you really know nothing about this? I'm really surprised. Why do you think I'll understand a device that only seems to work theoretically? If there's a chance, I'll like to get a sample for research. Maybe you can take a look at me after we rescue the universe. I've already been implemented with an interferometer when I was on Venus. That means Vita once said that her luck was better and her reactions were faster. Is it because it's technology from Venus? It would seem so. So, Vita, can you control the interferometer in you to perform some specific calculations for us? I can't promise anything, but if you can implant some program plugins into my body, maybe you can use it as a quantum calculator. If you don't mind, we can try that. It's very helpful to plan that we just discussed. Then great. Wait, are we gonna start now? Just as Miss Dell had left without a word, Prometheus took Vita, who was a Venetian, away to investigate without explanation. Prometheus is suddenly very motivated. Looks like there are still things in the world that she doesn't completely understand. Interesting. But things are getting worse by the second for the black and white world. We can't go on discussing mere theories. Yeah, as mentioned before, to connect the twin bubble universe to the real world and prevent its inevitable demise, we must act immediately. Susanna. Yes? I noticed that you've been taking notes the whole time. Can you summarize our plan to everyone again? Me? You're a serious and hardworking child. You'll do fine. Yeah, be more confident, Susanna. Alright. Then I'm gonna go for it. Susanna opened the notebook she had been using nervously, and it was crammed with words and even had some unique drawings. Then I'll summarize the direction of our operation and our individual responsibilities. The main objective of this operation is to stabilize two worlds with anchors and launch them back to the real world. By using Kiana's power, the two worlds will gain a stable structure and be saved from doom. To do this, we need to first find a number of basic anchors distributed across the two worlds, then connect them to an axis, which is the Sage Tower. This way, we'll be able to construct a world-scale anchor, which essentially obtains a rope that can pull two bubble universes, right? That's right. Now, for our individual responsibilities, I'll talk about the South Snow Holy City. First, it's Sela. Because she cannot leave the tower for long, she is mainly responsible for using the Sage's authority to locate the basic anchors. Yeah, leave it to me. It's indeed something that only I can do. Next, Kira-senpai. She'll try to contact her comrade Nigrath and the Sugars. Although I don't expect much from Elder Kampeito in terms of bravery, if we can get their help, we'll make things twice as easy. In a way, it's not troublesome to make contact with them. You can treat me as a standby unit and assign tasks accordingly. Got it. I'll write it down. And then, for myself, I'll do my best to do the errands and note-taking. Let me know if you need anything. And then there's Miss Prometheus. My job is to provide information and analysis of the situation, just as before. Yeah, and next. Miss Prometheus, you're back so soon. I'm really surprised too. She completed her analysis instantly and even inserted some specific plugins for me to use. She's amazing. Anyway, I'm ready to offer my help. Just as a disclaimer, we don't fully trust your explanation from before. Kira, you're so strict. I'd already given various details. But that's alright, I'll prove myself through action. Are you sure that you can be of help? She is very useful indeed. You'll see later. Then we can look at Miss Dao next. Miss Dao is already moving independently. I'm sure she has her own ideas. From past experiences, we can ignore her for now. We'll reach a common goal in the end. Alright, then we've accounted for Vita too. Right, next, I'll go through the situation in the country of Iron Sand. Yeah, it's finally here. I'm getting impatient. Miss Other Sela will locate the basic anchors there, so she's also the new sage. That's a piece of cake. The residents here are all wisps. When it comes to running and evacuating, they'll be better than those living people over there. Next, Senti. Wait, why are you calling me Senti? Who do you think you are? Sorry, I heard from the senpais in Shiksa that I can call you this way. Forget it. I'll excuse you this time, since you work hard and in taking notes. Got it? Yes, Miss Hershel of Sentient's mission is to clear all obstacles that may appear while connecting the anchors, such as monsters from the Sea of Quanta. On that side, you guys don't have Prometheus for external support. Hershel of Sentience, you bear a heavy responsibility. What a reasonable assignment of tasks. After all, when it comes to battling, I'm a league above everyone else here. I see, so you're just a fighter. A job perfect for you indeed. Oh look, I think an obstacle has appeared here. Wanna go at it? Please get along with each other. We won't be able to complete this mission otherwise. Aren't we getting along just fine? Lastly, it's Dr. Schrodinger. Just as before, I'll act as a medium of communication between the two groups, open a channel for all of you, and provide my suggestions. Then, that's all for the plan we conceived according to the current situation, right? That's a good summary. Time is ticking, let's get moving. So, are we going to start now? Yes, we're going to begin. No problem, let's go. Between stories, human emotions are bound to change slightly yet mysteriously. Just like the country of iron sand that had lost its order, uncertainty and panic rose up in Sila's heart. As the consolation of souls persisted, the discomfort from before relieved over time. The bubble universe was still approaching destruction, but it was clear who held the sage's authority. That was more like a curse till the end. The helplessness born from being unable to share her pain was more unbearable than being separated by space and time. The faith of the masses and a heart that is selfless would only conceive a flower that would surely wither. Its fragrance is rich, but to smell it, one must prepare to face death. Even though she knew those were mere words meant to sow discord, they weighed heavy on her heart like a curse and struck her with fear. But it was not the time to think about those inner struggles. And so she could only let out a long sigh, as if she could exhale all those depressing emotions. Right then, she heard an echo from deep within her soul. Don't worry, Sila. Even though she hid all her concerns in her heart, the other her could still feel wisps of her emotions. The tower has alleviated most of the effects of the bubble universe's destruction from me. I'm fine. You don't have to deliberately comfort me. I know what you're going through. I'm really not putting up a front. If I must say, now we're stronger than we were lost in the Sea of Quanta, and there are so many others helping too. Yeah, that's true. Sila muttered her reply. As a frown on her face eased, it seems like Sila's word had helped to relax her nerves. And so she had the mood to joke around. Plus, you hold the fate of this universe and our future in your hand. The rest is up to you, the other me. Of course, silly. Don't worry, Sila. We'll resolve everything. I'll protect you, just like every time before. At this point, she did not know how the tower in her heart was built upon unstable sand. A moment later, in Salt Snow Holy City. So many monsters! Shiguri Kira observed her surroundings carefully, with an unusually serious expression. I didn't even receive a response to the distress signal I sent to the Sugars. Don't tell me that. The Elder and the others also encountered something. No, I should leave this place before I consider all that. I can only rely on myself now. It's not possible to completely avoid all those enemies. Susanna, can you take on these enemies? I'll do my best, of course. It's okay, Susanna. It's just like your usual training. Mike test. Hi, can you hear me? Ch38 withdrew her hand that covered Susanna's mouth and shushed her. Don't be so loud. Those monsters are sensitive to sound. And you, Vita, are you dying for us to be found by those enemies? Sorry, it's just been so long since I used such an advanced tech, so I couldn't help my excitement. This brat, she was still acting as if she didn't know what AI was just a day ago. That was to integrate myself into the life here and avoid catching unnecessary attention. Alright, let's get back on track. Next, Sila will get into consolation mode and focus on following the basic anchors in real time, and I'll follow the hints that Sila provides to find their coordinates by using the exhaustive algorithm of the near future. Then I'll control the cruising robot as a guide. That means the basic anchors will move, but they will stop at a location for duration after each change, so you can still consider them as inanimate objects for a short time. In favor of efficiency, I'll try to choose a path that has the least enemies. Be careful. See V over there? You just have to follow it. V? But wasn't it called Assisty? But since it's not controlled by me, it's taking my last name. V is totally not your last name. Don't mind the details. This is where the first anchor is. There's nothing here. Anchor is originally a general term for the special type of spatial structures. As high-dimensional existences, it's only normal for them to be invisible in their natural state. But it's okay as long as you pray piously. Sila will use the sage's power to bring them into existence. Oh, I didn't know the sage's authority can be used that way. It reminds me of the Herrscher of Reason. Then, Susanna, give it a shot. Alright, leave it to me. Sila, no, the great sage, please bring the anchors into existence so they may connect to the tower. I can't believe it. They appeared out of nowhere. This is interesting. I recorded the entire process with the robot. However, it's impossible to see the construction of anchors even in the smallest time unit. Without a process, how is this possible? I'm not sure either, actually. After I felt your prayer deep in my heart, powers flowed to the subject of the prayer on its own. It's like an instinct. I'm afraid this is also a mechanism of the bubble universe. Something can be created from nothing as long as someone prays. We're lucky that the sage's authority is in our hands. Otherwise, if someone wishes for world destruction, and the sage stupidly agrees, don't make it sound so bad. Wouldn't the previous sage independent-minded? If we aren't in a situation so dire, this cool ability will have many fun uses. But the sage's power isn't used for pranks. I feel a chill behind my back. Is it just me? Anyway, the anchor here has been set.